Aloha everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this series, WordPress 101, I'm showing you the basics of WordPress, everything you need to know to get started building your first website. I'm Chris Joels, and in this video I'm going to show you how to install plugins. Plugins are a great way to improve the functionality of your WordPress website, both on the front end and on the back end. In the back end, you could do things like improve your SEO and security. On the front end, you could do things like add social media buttons, contact forms for your users, so on and so forth. So there's 3 different ways to install WordPress plugins, and I'm going to show you each one. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like the video if you find it helpful, and let's go. All right, so here we are in our dashboard for our WordPress website. The most common way to download a plugin into our WordPress website is to come over here to our plugins page. You can either click on this tab here or come over here to your installed plugins. They both come to this page right here that shows us our plugins. We currently have no plugins available. The most common way we could add a plugin is to come up here to add new, and it brings us to our WordPress plugin directory. This is where the majority, not all of them, but the majority of plugins live, and you could find here. You could either search for their featured, popular, recommended, and favorite ones. Then you could also search for one, okay? So you could come to your plugin, and I recommend you always clicking on the plugin you're interested in installing and coming over here, making sure that it's been updated recently. This one's been updated a month ago, and there's no major warnings with it. Major red flags will come if you see a lot of low star ratings and you see that it hasn't been updated in a year or two. And sometimes they come with warnings up here saying this plugin is not compatible, so on and so forth. Always come in here and double check that, make sure that the plugin you're about to install is being kept up to date, okay? Mostly for security reasons as well as functionality reasons. So what I'm going to do is search for a plugin that I install on all my websites, and that's Imagify. And you could just come in there and click for it and search it, and you'll see it comes up right here. Same thing, I'm gonna come in here and make sure that's all up to date. And I know that it is. It's been updated within the last 2 months, which is perfect. Now, this warning is not so bad. Warning, this plugin has not been tested with your current version of WordPress. That's not too bad as a red flag, okay? It takes time for these developers to update them. WordPress is constantly being updated, and so the plugins are constantly having to be updated. As long as it's been updated, like I said, within a couple months to a year, that's pretty good. So I can either click here and install it from here, or as you could see, I could install it from right here as well. So we'll go ahead and install it, and you'll see that I can activate it from here. Real quickly, I just want to show you that if we come back to our plugins page, our plugin is here and it has been installed. It is not yet active though, so we're going to go ahead and activate that right here. Okay, so when you install plugins, the majority of times they'll come in with these little pop-up screens that help you set up your new plugin, install your API key if you need one, and stuff like that, okay? For now, we're just going to go ahead and close that because that's not what this video is about. Another thing you could do here is deactivate your plugin, okay? So it's currently active, and you'll see that when a plugin is active, it usually gives us new settings, okay, for the plugin. And sometimes those settings give you a whole new tab here on the left side. Or in other times, like in this case, you have to go to Settings tab and find it down in here. I also want to show you how to deactivate the plugin. You simply deactivate it. And it's only then, after it's deactivated, that you could come over here and delete the plugin. Select delete, select OK, it's deleting, and now it's gone. All right, so that's the most popular way to download a plugin. Sometimes when you buy a plugin, you have to buy a plugin from an online store or something like that, and they send you a zip file of the plugin that you have to download. Here's how you install those plugins. So we go to add new, and instead of searching for it down here, we are going to go to upload plugin. And you could either select choose file, or you could drag and drop. And so what they are looking for here is a zip file, okay? I have here a couple plugins that I use regularly. I keep a folder of plugins that I use all the time on all my websites. And what I'll do is I'll come in here and just drop them all in. So, but what I did is condense them down to a few sample plugins for this video. And so they want a zip file. And so we have our plugin here, our zip file for Gravity Forms. And we're just gonna come in here and we're gonna drag that in there. And you'll see it's found it, and we're gonna click install. And after it's downloaded the zip file and unpackaged it, it will install the plugin. And then now all we have to do is activate the plugin. And there you go. You'll see Gravity Forms is installed and activated. All right, so that is probably the two most common ways to download a plugin. There's another option, which is to download a plugin through FTP, through a FTP client like FileZilla. And if you see here, I'm going to go over here to my FileZilla. I'm logged in to my WordPress through my FTP account. Okay, and I'm going to show you another video. I'm going to show you how to hook up to WordPress through your FTP, and so that you can transfer files that way. So your WordPress website usually lives in your public HTML folder. So we're going to open that, and your plugins and your themes will live in the WP content folder. All these folders, the majority of them have to do with your WordPress install. So let's go into WP content. And you'll see we have our plugins and we have our themes. So let's go ahead and go into plugins. And you'll see here, Gravity Forms that we just uploaded is right there. And so we can go to our folders and drag our plugins right into here. We're not going to do our zip files though this time. We're going to do our folders, okay? So let's just take, for instance, if I do two folders, you could drag two folders and drop them in. For this case of speed, we're going to take the one with the less files and drop that bad boy in there. And you'll see it's going to upload it. And when it's done uploading all the files, we're going to go to our WordPress backend, update it, and you'll see that our plugin will be there. Okay, so once the files are done uploading, we're going to jump back over to our WordPress install. And we are going to go ahead and refresh this page, and you'll see Advanced Custom Pro is there. We're going to go ahead and activate that one. And here we go. We have it installed, it's activated and ready to go. Now, sometimes when you install a plugin, it will need to be updated in this form. Since I uploaded zip files and folders, they could be old. And what I recommend is you update those right away, okay? For instance, here it says to register your copy of Gravity Forms, and that is so that I could upgrade it, okay? So I would do that. I would go to my settings and enter the license keys for both of these. I thought it was gonna have me do that for advanced custom fields, but it's the most up-to-date one. That's how you upload plugins to your WordPress install. And there you go. I showed you how to install a WordPress plugin. Whether you get your plugins from the WordPress plugin directory, you buy it from an online store and you download the zip file, or if you already have it downloaded to your computer and you have the folders, you know how to get plugins to your WordPress website. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like it, and I'll see you in the next one. Aloha.